I'm talking about. These are wipe your booty
Wow.
in my opinion. Come for me. I don't care. If you needed heart surgery tomorrow, would you trust a doctor with 20 years of experience or a 28-year-old biohacker with 2 million TikTok followers who reversed his own heart disease with diet and exercise?
Dude, first of all, how bad is my heart? 2 million followers does not impress me because, or they smell like an ashtray and they tell you, do you smoke? Older established doctor, but he walked in and he smelled like a friggin' ashtray.
I can't take people like that seriously. He may be excellent. You know what I'm saying? I definitely get it. Maybe rather trust what people do than trust what people say. I'm not going to go to a doctor and the doctor tells me I'm overweight and I need to drop weight and I'm looking at baby like,
Yeah.
If you needed heart surgery tomorrow, would you trust a doctor with 20 years of experience or a 28-year-old biohacker with 2 million TikTok followers who reversed his own heart disease with diet and exercise?
Dude, first of all, how bad is my heart? That's the thing. You have some doctors that are ready to just cut and go in and just take care of it. But how bad is it? How bad is it? Now, on the other hand, you have this, 20-year-old or 28-year-old?
Yeah, 28-year-old
Okay.
with 2 million TikTok followers.
Yeah. Okay. Now, is this a medical student that's now a doctor?
No,
The reason why I'm asking,
no.
because again, a lot of them are still young. 2 million followers does not impress me because as well as you can purchase that.
True.
So I don't know from whence those came. I'll put it that way. But just we had mentioned in the past, and we've had Lena on, she had something similar and she was able to reverse it. So my thing would be, okay, first of all, let's see if we can do it the non-invasive way first. Then at that point, if it's not viable, then we will consider the alternative, but I'll have to get another opinion. Not
No,
just, yeah.
I definitely respect that because, and I knew you were going to say that,
Yeah,
especially
of
when I said
course you did.
20-year-old.
Yeah.
But like you said, it depends on the severity. So when we had Lena on, we interviewed her. She had congestive heart failure. She basically had to leave the hospital with a defibrillator vest on. And they told her she was going to be on medication for the rest of her life. She only had a certain amount of time. But she reversed everything. When I say that, would you deal with a 20 doctor that has 20 years who's used to doing what he does? He has pattern recognition. He has a case studies where people have come into his office. Or would you go with someone that has reversed everything and didn't go under the knife? So what you said was honest. I probably would have went with the for me. I probably would have seen what TikTok follower what he had. If he had
You would.
yeah, if he had evidence, if he could validate his claims, then I would definitely probably seek that advice over the surgeon. And some people may say you are crazy.
And
It's
even
all
dealing like
mixed.
it, yeah, you and me both. Even dealing with the surgeon, again, I still would have gotten a second opinion.
Right. Exactly. But that is the premise of our conversation today, you guys. So welcome to Disrupt and
And
Discuss.
discuss.
Yeah, today we are talking about something that's going to probably make a lot of people uncomfortable. And the reason why I say that is we're going to be talking about the topic is the death of the expert and why we don't trust credentials anymore. And when I say we, that's the editorial we. That means a lot of us out here in the world. Why we trust practitioners over professionals and why the system that told us to go to college and you'll be fine might have sold us the most expensive lie of the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You ready to get into it?
Now let's do it.
All right. So, what comes to your mind when I say $1.84 trillion?
Oh, numbers.
What is that?
Dollars.
What comes to your mind? It's not philosophical. That's a number.
Okay.
What comes to your mind?
Well, just by the number alone,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love that. I'm about to tell you.
Oh, that was no trick question. That was a real question. Okay.
That's a real question.
Unrehearsed. Damn. Okay.
Yes. That is how much Americans owe student loan debt right now.
Oh, get out of here.
$1.8 trillion. Yes.
And some will
For
never be able to pay it off.
yeah, and 42.8 million people. That's 1 out of 7 adults walking around with student loan debt. I did not know that. I
Wow.
did not know that. 1 out of 7. So every 7 person that you see has student loan debt.
Mm,
Crazy, right? And they
yeah.
said that 25% of the borrowers with payments due are currently delinquent, which I can believe that because I had to, my student loan, I think what do you call that when you
Oh, defer?
deferred it? I deferred it
Hmm.
several times.
Oh, see, I didn't have tons. My grandmother helped me a lot. When I graduated, she helped me for the first year. Then after that, it was like, okay, you're pretty much on your own. And
Right.
luckily, I didn't have tons of debt. I had it, don't get me wrong. So it took about maybe I'll even say maybe 7 years to pay it
Oh,
off.
wow.
Yeah.
That's not bad. So you are an outlier, right? You paid yours off.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely an outlier. Most people are pushing it, kicking that can down the road,
Then I had a
right?
daughter that went away to college and we amassed it back again. Yeah.
Parents take on that debt. They usually out loans on their home, refinance their home to put their kids through college.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But 25% of borrowers are paying on average for the average degree. I think it's like 31,000 for like an undergrad. Was that bachelor's degree? Is like
Hmm.
roughly 32,000. So your monthly payments are probably going to be for 10 years because usually it's 10 years that you pay, probably around three something,
Yeah.
which is still high. And I ain't
And
gonna
you know
lie.
what's
Go
so
ahead.
funny about that is when I was in college and I first got my loan, I don't know where everybody else was getting their loans from, but everybody's like, "Oh, it's just $50 a month." Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Where
yeah.
I don't know where that came from because mine was not.
Mine was like I want to
Oh,
say
you're
80
that
bucks.
guy.
Yeah, it was like 80 bucks. But
Okay.
I didn't have huge. It wasn't huge debt. Mine wasn't 30 something $1,000 because mine wasn't a undergrad path. It was more
Okay.
of a program. But still, I took out a loan. Which, if I know then what I knew now, I wouldn't have done it.
Well, one of the things we did to combat some of that was we went to junior college to start.
Yeah.
So all we had was the junior and senior year to pay for. And I went to college locally. So I went over into San Francisco. I went there.
Right.
So commuting was not an issue because at that time I lived in North Oakland, which was just 15 minutes away from San Francisco.
Right.
So I didn't really have far to go.
That wasn't on BART. That was nothing. You're like on and off. When you
Exactly.
drove, that was yeah.
And I wasn't driving in
Yes.
the city. The parking would have killed me. Now that's a tuition.
But even when you look at that, you didn't have the debt per se, not for a long length of time. So you didn't do the 10 years. But most people they're dealing with this debt for 10 years.
Correct.
That's not
Correct.
even including after the fact. So we're not even talking about that's just a loan. That's just a student loan. But when you get out and you get a job, get a career, move out of your parents' home, then what are you looking at? You're looking at cost of living, rent. And I don't know about anywhere else, so I'm never gonna talk about any other location except for where I am from. And we're talking about California, the Bay Area. So
Ooh.
when you're dealing with, there are 1 bedroom apartments out here that are $2,000. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're talking about a person who has a student loan and now they're looking for a 1 bedroom apartment. So rent maybe 2,000. If they happen to buy a house, that's 5,000. You can be upwards of 5,000. This is a real thing. The house don't mean you're getting lower. It depends on the interest rate. A lot of things play into that. Then you're talking about a car payment. Now, in 2026, you guys, we're talking about 2026. A
Right.
new
Right.
car. I have watched shows for a new car nowadays. People are having car payments that are $1,100.
I can't even imagine that.
Right?
That's
For a new car, $1,100. Used car, $750. So you're looking at that. That's a used car. The
and don't
car,
forget where you're living. That plays
right?
a part in your insurance premium.
I was just gonna get that.
Oh,
Car
okay.
insurance.
Well, let me kick back
Right.
then.
The car insurance, 200. If you're under 25, you're looking at more because you don't have a lot of driving experience, 3 to 500. Gas right now
Ugh.
is almost $6 a gallon in California, you guys, in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about maybe $500 a month, $600 a month in gas. Groceries, that has gone
Oh,
up.
that's right. You do have to eat, don't you?
You gotta eat. If you cook, that could be upwards of $500, $600 a month. And I'm talking about just for one person, a single person. And then you got your utilities. So that's anywhere from $200 to $300, just to be
You're
honest. And then
depressing
you
me.
got
You know that you are
home
depressing me.
homeowners insurance or renters insurance, anywhere from $100 to $200. So that's on
Yeah,
top of paying a student loan if you're trying to be an adult outside of your parents' house.
exactly.
So that's 3,500 to almost 7 grand a month in fixed income, and then you add on 350 for a student loan. That's diabolical. That's ridiculous. And you're graduated and you're making like maybe depends on your profession 45 50,000 55,000 a year, maybe 65,000 a year. That's a lot. Your take home pay a month is you can be underwater real quick,
For sure.
really quick. And we're just talking about the undergrad. I'm not even going to get into the master's degree, so we just going to skip over that. Just double it, okay? Just
Yeah.
double it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, so what do students do? A lot of them, instead of staying in that 10-year window of trying to pay it off, they extend it out to 20 years. But the thing is, when you extend it out to 20 years, that student loan, you're still adding on interest.
Oh, interest is for sure, for sure.
And so even though your monthly payment maybe is $100 cheaper, you're still at the end of the day, you're tapping on maybe $8,000 of interest. So you're paying extra. So that $31,000, $32,000 student loan is now close to $50,000. You tacking on an extra $8,000, $9,000. So it's just, in my opinion, it is. I would definitely encourage folks, parents, and young adults to consider degree or not degree, if that makes sense. Is it viable for me to get this degree? Can I utilize this degree when I get out of school? Because a lot of people aren't able to utilize their degrees in what they went to school for. And a lot of them are working at Starbucks. So when I look at, and this is just me being in HR, in recruiting, it's stuff that you see with regards to the types of degrees. So there's degrees that you need and you're always going to have, like an attorney. In order to be a lawyer, you need a degree. You need to get a law degree. A doctor. If I do need someone to cut on me, I'm not going to go to that 28-year-old.
Oh, you're not, huh? Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he has to cut on me, we're going to go to the person who has gone to school, gotten the degree, has done it for X amount of years.
Experiences.
So nurses need they need to be licensed. They need certifications, right? Those things, yes. Even engineers, certain engineering, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. Yes, those things, those are degree situations. But when I'm talking about liberal arts. I went to school for liberal arts. I went to school for graphic design. I went to school for information technology. I went to school for music.
Wow, you just blew me all up under the bus, man. The hell with throwing me. Yeah, I had a liberal arts. I was a graphic designer. Yes.
Wait, I thought you went for graphic. I didn't know you went liberal.
Well, it's not so much the liberal part, but it was under a fine arts degree.
Okay,
ma'am.
Yeah, fine arts
so I had
degree.
correction. Yes, to my point, fine arts degree.
Yeah, those degrees,
So that, yeah. Well,
did you get a job in fine arts?
I had a job as a graphic designer. Yes, ma'am, I did.
How long did you stay?
Not long.
Could it pay your bills?
I was living with grandma, so it paid the necessary bill.
And this is what I'm talking about. These are wipe your booty.
Wow.
In my opinion, come for me. I don't care. Because you end up doing something that you didn't go to school for.
And of course, as you well know, I ended up in HR. How I was in sales, the whole 9 yards.
Right. This is what I'm talking about. So it's like, why do you get it? I get the ones where they're needed.
I get what you're talking about. Right. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Even in accounting. So I'm even going to go accounting. If you're doing payroll, yeah, I don't think you need it. But if you want to be a CPA or a certified financial accountant, though, yeah, you need to be credentialed. There's an extensive test that you have to take to become a CPA. You know your stuff. So those I definitely understand. But when you're talking about, I'm in music, liberal arts, or a business administration.
You're just beating the shit out of me this morning.
I didn't know business administration too.
One of the jobs I had at this publishing company, at first I started off as the receptionist, and then I ended up doing accounts payable for a few years.
I know all this.
Yeah, see?
Accounts payable. I did accounts payable.
And again, I was toting the art school. I had the what do you call it? The graphic design degree.
See?
Graphic designer.
See? Those are, you ended up in something totally different. And that's what I'm trying to say. You don't
Correct.
get into financial disarray.
Yeah.
For something that you cannot use. And especially today, it's more prevalent than ever.
Right. No.
It's more prevalent than ever because there's so much, especially business management, business administration, marketing, all that stuff. These things can be taught. You can go online and take a class. Hell, Google.
You get certified. Actually certified. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is free. If you have a LinkedIn, if you have a paid LinkedIn account, it comes with LinkedIn Learning. You can literally take your time and get certification after certification in LinkedIn Learning.
Yep.
You can go on any of these websites for Microsoft or Google, IBM. They offer some type of free certification. Take you through training. You will take some courses or ask you questions and you get assessed. Bam.
Oh, yeah.
You now have been certified by the company of the product that you're using. That's all you need.
And I think a lot of people are starting to turn back to and look differently at blue collar type jobs. Plumbers, you're definitely going to need a plumber. Yes. Trust me. We needed one not too long ago.
That's
those kind of
trade.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people now are starting to revisit those type of jobs. My husband, he retired after 38 years. He was a mechanic. I had the white collar job, he had the blue collar job, and his was more steady than mine.
Because they're needed. He works with his hands. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't know how to work with your hands anymore. It's a needed profession. And when you
Yep.
talk about it, like you were saying, 62% of jobs don't require degrees anymore. And that's a real thing. I mean, I look at job descriptions all the time. And it's so funny when I see it because they say 4-year degree required or bachelor's degree required. But then within the same requirements, a lot of what they're asking for, you are going to either, it's a learned experience, a teachable experience, or you can get a
Right.
certification on it. So, do you really need the degree, or you're just a company that really tries to hold on to? Oh, you need to get a 4-year degree from here.
And it's also a weeding out process as well.
It
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Because
used to be like like you said, a weeding out process. So
Mhm.
what is it? That's the gatekeeping.
Mhm.
We're gonna go with the folks that have the
Right. Now, mind you, they already know who they want in that position, but they're still going to have. That's a whole nother. That's yes, a whole yeah. Okay, I'm bringing it back. All right.
I like that because when you look at it now, because so many people have degrees, now that is over kind of flooding the market. So
Right.
when I recruit, let's say I have a software engineer, right?
Mhm.
I'm looking for someone with maybe 3 to 5 years worth of experience in software engineering. So I can post that, and they're required to have a computer science degree. It would be nice to have if you have a master's, right? In 48 hours, when I look at my job posting, I can have 300 to 500 folks, right?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, 300 to 500 folks that have applied for this position within 48 hours. Now, out of that 500, 400 of them have degrees, but only 50 have experience in actually doing the damn job. When I say that, I say that the market is flooded with people who have degrees. But if you
Right.
don't have experience, if you don't have the skill set, you don't have proof, like proof of concept, proof of your, like a portfolio. What have you done? What type of coding? Give me some examples of what you've done. And then if you don't have the network, you don't know people, it's hard to get a job, even for a person in software engineering, because there's so many of them. They come out like the droves. Oh, all of them have degrees, masters, and everything, but it's so many. You have to stand out. That concept is flooded. It's flooded the market.
Wow. I'm glad I'm out of that market.
Yeah,
Jeez. No, really.
that's what you have to look at. Recruiters look at what have you done. Can you show me your results? And do you have your portfolio, what you worked on? And then you're going to be tested on it anyway. So you can come with all that stuff. You can come with a miraculous resume. You're going to be tested on it in software engineering anyway. So
Oh, okay. Well,
you better know what you say. Say what you know.
back it up.
So I guess the question should be, and I'll ask you this, KayCee, should we still be telling our 18-year-olds or our seniors that are in high school, should we still be talking to them about going to college?
There,
Degree and you'll be fine.
yes and no, because each person is different. I don't even know if they have high school counselors anymore because I'm so far removed from that. You would think that your counselor would be unbiased in giving you the right direction on where to go. Because again, not everybody is cut out, not that they can't do it, but that is just not their thing going to a college. Sometimes just a 2-year college is enough. Vocational school, plumbing, was HVAC, all that kind of stuff. Those things are definitely needed. If you don't think you need an HVAC person, let it be the dead of summer and your air conditioning goes out and it's 105 outside and it's 120 inside.
In your house,
I
exactly.
know it ain't nothing nice, but those are skill sets that are definitely needed.
I definitely agree with that. So you would say it depends on what it is. And you have to be having that conversation about, is college what you want right now? Or should you take a gap year? Or is this something you really want to do? Because
Yeah.
that is a debt that never goes away. And like
Right.
KayCee said, counselors at school, a lot of times they were like pushing you to go to college. They weren't necessarily pushing you to go to a 2 years, like you go to a 4-year apply. It's almost like they were, what do you call it? I forgot what you call it, some those types of meals. I feel they were pushing people into college. They weren't getting kickbacks. Counselors not getting kickbacks, but these colleges were just, it pays, almost like the medical system. It
Okay.
paid to keep people going, getting this piece of paper, even though it's worthless.
Oh,
In
yeah.
some instances.
Sometimes, unless you're just a student or a kid that's got a backbone for the most part, and it's, no, I don't want to go. And when I was going to school, we felt weird, or I felt, damn, what's wrong with me? Because everybody's, oh, I got in here, I'm waiting to hear here. And I was just
Yep.
going up the street to the local community college. But again, I didn't know what I was going to be majoring in. I didn't know, 18 years old. And then come to find out, you still have to take the basics anyway before you can work on your major, which made more sense to go to a junior college because I was working on those. I could afford to go and pay for those myself. Yeah. And then again, you get to try things that you may or may not be interested in, or you thought you did. And you know what? I don't like needles. Maybe nursing ain't your thing, man. But
Or
you
what is that?
found that
Phlebotomy?
out. Oh, yeah, that too. I don't want to take stool samples. Well, I'm
Right.
sorry, ma'am. These are the things that you have to do. So if you're taking classes, whether it be on the junior college level, you can make the decision, oh, I booked up. Good thing I didn't have to go and apply and get accepted and all of that. I think it needs to be a little bit more open, and people need to talk about it when the kids are younger. Whether, not saying go, 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 but have you thought about this? I tell my grandkids that all the time. But I got one that he can build models at the ones that adults do, and he's a kid. He's doing models. So I'm like, oh, that's MIT right there. And then I have other ones that are goofy as hell. And I'm like,
I don't know what's gonna happen with you. But,
I don't know what to say about that one, but there's a place for you, sir.
I do think the conversation should shift. I think a lot of parents that were, you need to go to college, you need to go to college to get a good job. I think you need to reevaluate that, especially with
Yes.
everything that's going on in the world and people are getting laid off by the droves, not necessarily entry level people who are in white collar jobs, analysts, managers, directors, this and that. They're getting laid off. So is it really worth it to send your child to school and take on maybe 30 to 50 grand in debt for a degree that you may not be able to utilize in
Right.
long term, and you might still have that debt and not have a job?
Yeah. Or you can
Yeah.
be on a podcast and talk about it.
Right. So let's talk about this because this one was very interesting. I like this one, and we can go in on this. Who
Oh
would
boy.
you trust more to help you build a business? A Harvard MBA or a dropout who built a $7 million business out of their garage?
Girl, come on now. Hands down. The Harvard. No, I'm just kidding. The grit, the pavement, stomping, the whole 9 yards. That I definitely want somebody that had some skin in the game and not just sitting at a desk or in a lecture hall and you're doing a fictitious business. And again, not taking anything away from the Whartons of the world, the Harvard MBAs and all of that, because believe it or not, one of the people that I work with on my business happens to be up in there like that as well. But there's a place for all of that. There's a place. I have that level of person helping me with various strategies for what I'm doing with my business. However, I got a lot of my business savvy from just Wes Bergman. I don't know how many of you know that, but you went to see him as well as I did. And it was, oh my gosh. And a lot of people think, as we had said before, that, okay, you need to have a business plan. You need this. In some cases, you do. I'm not going to say you don't, but it didn't take a business plan for me to start my business.
And that's so true. We were talking about this on the back end before we started, but absolutely, you don't. It's certain businesses that don't need that. I've had the opportunity to work for a startup company, so they have venture capitalists, seed money. So being people who understand it, Series A, Series B, Series C, D, whatever, and that's usually seed money. So you're trying to get seed money, or you've gotten seed money from venture capitalists. And so for some of those companies, they do need it, right? Because
Absolutely.
if it's missions based, you're building something that may change the way something's done, or equipment that may be on the up and up. It may take something away from hospitals like MRIs or T scans. It may be something integral that may be better than that because those are older systems, right? So I see that foundation getting seed money. There's certain requirements, FDA requirements. You have to go through that process. You have to build that type of business. But for someone like KayCee, she built a supplement company. You don't need all that. You don't
No.
need to go and get rounds of funding, and you just have an idea. She researched it. She found what she needed to find and went for it.
Yeah.
And it was all iteration.
Oh, it's constantly a work in progress.
Work in progress. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not needed. I think people have told you this is the way, this is the standard, this is the gold standard. This
Yeah.
is the way you have to do it. But now you are seeing that's not necessarily, and a lot of people who started in their garage, businesses.
Wow. What a concept.
Multi-million-dollar businesses that are happening all the time. So you really have to take stock of what's today. I say this because I was one of those people, and I've talked about it on here before, that I gave up an opportunity because I was always taught to get a job. You're supposed to work. You're supposed to get a job, work
Yep.
that job, retire from that job. And so when that's ingrained in you and you don't do anything to seek different, then that's
Right.
what you go with. It wasn't until I got older and started researching myself, that ain't the way. And just seeing what's happening in society, that's not the gold standard anymore.
No.
A lot of us have still been taught that. And I'm saying maybe we should stop saying that.
Yeah.
Because West did open my mind to a lot of things as well, especially with the iteration. You just keep going.
Nothing is
Don't
perfect.
stop.
You're constantly changing.
Absolutely. So when you look at things like that, people creating businesses and creating these systems, we look at PhDs are now, for me, it's a Google. Everybody's an expert. You just Google it, right? Everybody come up because we have access to so much information.
Yep, for sure. I
Yeah,
agree.
30 years ago, you had to go to business school. You had to learn finance. You had to go to medical school. And that information, all that information was gate kept. Now it's not really gate kept. You can go to
Nope.
my favorite place, YouTube University, and Google. And
Mhm.
Gemini, you
Oh
know,
boy, that Gemini.
Chat GPT, Gemini. I mean, there's so many different places where you can get information. Now, do you trust everything that comes from these places? No. There's a
No,
certain part where you have to do your own due diligence. But for the most part, you don't have to go that route anymore.
no, you don't. You don't.
That doesn't automatically lead to success. That doesn't automatically lead to financial freedom. And that's what I think we're looking at. It, it's not a deficit or a crisis of knowledge, it's discernment deficit. Do you have discernment, the information that you're gathering? We don't need information. We need people who have lived through it. And I think that's why social media is so popular because you can get a diagnosis, right? Like we were talking about Lena, and the doctor can tell you you're going to be on medication for the rest of your life. You're going to have to wear this. You're going to have to do that. And that's it. And we used to take it as, well, that's the doctor.
That's
They're just a
gospel.
fool.
Yep.
They know what they know because they have the knowledge base they've gone through so many years. But when you go online and information is everywhere, that there's a person online that survived that. And this is what they did. And they have the information. I got on the meds, I did what they said, but I actually looked at other things. And those other
Right.
things started working, and my numbers started trending the opposite way. And the doctors are like, well, dang, you don't need the medication anymore. Well, dang, you don't have this anymore. But had they not done that and just listened to the expert, not the practitioner, then they
Right.
probably would have been on medication for the rest of their life. And who knows if they would still be here today. So, not to say that that's everybody should, throw away doctors. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that
Right.
there's so much information out there that you can get second, third opinions, like KayCee was saying, and you can look up some things and bring it to your doctor. No, I'm always one. If I go to my doctor and I can't have a conversation with my doctor, and they still are sitting up on their pedestal like I'm the doctor, then I got to switch. If you can't listen to me, or we can't have a back and forth conversation about my health and what I've seen, and you can't just we can conversate back and forth, then that's a problem for me.
One thing, what I was going to say too is it really helps. When one thing with social media, whether it be Claude, Gemini, Chat
Mm-hmm.
GPT, it gives you also a playbook. So when you do go see your doctor, you can ask, okay, what questions are pertinent from what I'm dealing with? Because
Right.
if you don't, sometimes if you don't know what to ask, you're not going to get the answers you're looking for. But you need to utilize these prompts, if you will, for the greater good. Because again, you got to be
Yes.
careful with anything. And it even tells you sometimes, we are not a doctor, we are not an attorney.
Correct.
But what you're feeding it is what you're going to get back. So if I know I'm going to the doctor and this is one of the things that is going to be an issue, what questions do I need to ask that I might not have thought about? And again, even on social media, you'll have other doctors and other practitioners that'll give you that same information. And so, oh, I never thought of this. So, and it might
Absolutely.
aid into your diagnosis or your prescription of sorts.
It's definitely a hub where you don't need to just depend on one person's expertise. And I know some people say, well, you can go get a second, third, and fourth opinion. Sometimes that information is going to be the same. Sometimes you just have to do your due diligence. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying at all to not listen to. Please let me reiterate, doctors are good. They can do good in the world. But I'm also saying that they are not the end all be all.
Are you familiar with functional doctors?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes. And functional doctors are more so they hold a balance
Hmm.
of the traditional medicine plus some alternative. They're
Yeah.
hard to find sometimes
I have a friend of mine that does have a functional doctor and it's not covered
though.
and they're not cheap, but that is also option as well for certain things.
Absolutely.
And you'll probably get more of those that'll have the alternative suggestions on top of the traditional suggestions, depending on where you rank in terms of what you're dealing with as
Right.
well.
And like you said, it a lot of times with functional doctors because they're not always covered, so it's going to be out of pocket cost. So keep that in mind. But if you don't have that, and you're like, well, damn, that's just another roadblock. I don't have money to do that. There you go, Chat GPT. And I say use Chat GPT with knowledge, meaning you have to train your AI. You don't, and I learned this the hard way. Not the hard way. It's just I was putting stuff in there and it was agreeing with me left and right. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but it was agreeing with every concept I had, everything I was saying. I was like, hold on. Even I know you blowing smoke up my, you blowing,
Oh,
you blowing
smoke up the CUDA. Okay.
smoke up the cooter. Okay. Even I know I'm wrong. So say that to say, don't just get on there and if it's saying, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you should do this and do that. Definitely fact check that. And then you can train it. You can put stuff in there to different prompts to help it talk to
Hmm.
you the way you need to be talked to and to fact check. So that's just a quick little blurb there with regards to that. But definitely, if you don't have the money to go and get a functional doctor, because it can, at some instances, it can be out of pocket costs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's when you do your research. I've done a lot of research on here. I love to like go down rabbit holes.
Not whole. No, not hardly. I think you go a little deeper than I do.
I love to look up stuff. So I'm always saying, okay, if somebody's saying that, then I know somebody else is saying something different. And then
Hmm.
I like to get both sides. And then we'll see what happens in the middle. That's my thing. What does the opposing say? And then let me weigh each one. So again, I'm not saying don't go to your doctor. I'm not saying throw away your doctor. I'm not saying don't go to college. We're not saying that. We're just saying college shouldn't be a default. And your doctor's opinion, one opinion, if you have a gut feeling that just doesn't sound right, get another opinion.
Keep on pushing.
Keep on pushing. Yes. Engineers, nurses, doctors still need college, right? But if you
Oh
are
yeah.
in, if you're a social media manager, if you're a coder, I'm not saying, but if you're a graphic designer,
Wow.
if you're an admin, if you're a recruiter, you don't need college. You don't need to go to a 4 year. You don't need to go into debt trying to get a degree for that. So look at other alternatives, certifications, and things like that. What do you say, KayCee?
No, I mean, do you want to be in debt? That's fine. I'm not going to stop anybody from doing that. But again, like I was telling you earlier, I think for me, I've noticed within the last 5 years, a lot of people are really starting to make sure, okay, I'm going to go to this particular school. Long term, what is that going to do for me?
Right.
If I'm going to go to school to take philosophy, for example, then I know that I want to be a teacher of some sort. Okay, then we're talking. But again, you've got people that just are going undeclared until they figure it out. At the same time, you're racking up some bills. So if you can figure that out, or at least have an idea on the earlier end, and maybe not jump into the 4 year institution because that is the status quo, and you're able to talk about it amongst yourselves and your peers, all the sake of doing that, and then you decide this isn't for you after all. When you leave, guess what? That bill is there. And I'm speaking on people that I know that have had that happen. That's all I got to say on that one.
Well, that's all I gotta say. I think we're
Choose wisely.
choose wisely, absolutely. And I'm more along the lines. I'm more of a trust what people do than
Mm-hmm.
trust what people
Mm-hmm.
say. And that's just been my experience because I will say I have been a person my younger life where I trusted people what they said, and that was to my detriment. So I have now moved to what are you doing? What have you done?
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow, and I'm not beating up on doctors, so please take this with a grain of salt. But I'm not going to go to a doctor and that doctor tells me I'm overweight and I need to drop weight, and I'm looking at baby girl or baby boy and he like 250, 280, and 5'2".
Yeah. Or
Get
they smell
some.
like an ashtray and they tell you, do you smoke?
You
No,
know,
I've had a doctor like that. I think years ago, my daughter had a ear infection, or she had the eye infection thing, and we had to go to ER. So it was a older, established doctor, but he walked in and he smelled like a friggin' ashtray. I was like, oh God,
yeah, I can't take people like that seriously. And he may be excellent. You know what I'm saying? I definitely get it. Maybe he started smoking cigarettes because he was in
stress. Who
physician school,
knows? But
right? Physician school, and there was a lot on him. Got it. Or the lady, the doctor who was overweight, went through school and late night studying, had the munchies.
munchies.
At the end of the day, you're trying
Yeah.
to tell me what I need to do.
Yeah. See, that's always the issue right there.
Yeah, that's the issue. So those things, I definitely need you to walk your talk, and you just need to be mindful of that. And I was brought up in the age of trusting professionals, and I just learned that's not always the way to go.
Yeah. And on top of trusting, there's always a pill for everything.
Correct, correct.
Yeah. That was very timely. Okay.
Right.
So,
It, I thought this was a very interesting conversation right now that we're having because it's very. I think it's we're dealing with what's going on today and how we should be looking at things a little bit differently, not necessarily going the way our parents told us to do things or grandparents because it's a lot different. It is a lot different, and you just need to be mindful of
yes.
the types of conversations we're having with our children with regards to their future. and the types of conversations we have with our practitioners and overall with our health and wellness.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to the conversation?
No, you said it all. You have said it. Yeah.
I love this one. I love this one.
Yeah. I was like, I'm learning something listening to you.
I love this one. We'd love for you to put a comment in the chat. Do you believe all degrees are necessary for today, or are there certain types of degrees that you should consider when
For
talking to
sure.
your kids or things of that nature? If you had to do it over again, would you have gotten the degree that you got?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Let us know in the comments what you feel about this conversation. The death of the expert, professional versus the practitioner.
They experts are needed, not necessarily formally trained, but experience for sure. Okay, keep going.
I love that because you can get your experience without going to college. You can get that knowledge base without having to go to college. The amount of debt that people are going into, remember, $1.84 trillion of
It's
student loan
crazy.
debt in America.
It's crazy.
Something's wrong with that. Thank you guys for rocking with us and letting us come and talk your ear off about things that we like to talk about. And until the next one, what do we usually say?